So as Pete said, I'm Claire Woolley, and I'm actually native New Zealander, and I'm also founder of Add a Tree, which is a local non-profit that is working to plant trees across the country. So, is that working, Claire? So our planet is a little stressed right now. We got to 7 billion people a couple of years ago. And all of this puts a huge strain on our natural resources. But let's talk about trees for a moment. I want you to cast your minds back to your 5th grade science class. And you may remember something like this. And it's coming up in a second. It's the carbon cycle. And you may remember that trees play a starring role. And they absorb carbon dioxide, and we have no shortage of that thanks to our fossil fuel consumption. So you may also recall that trees provide many important environmental services. For us here in the city, the most important are cooling, stormwater management, and removing stuff from the air like black soot. And trees also produce oxygen, which is no small thing for our day-to-day experience, right? Let me give you a couple of figures, and that's 3.6 million, 19, 8,000, and 0. We have a looming problem here in Chicago. We have about 3.6 million trees. 19% of those trees, that's 1/5 of our urban forest, is ash trees. We lose about 8,000 trees per year, and that's due to disease and age. But here's the problem. We have no new tree planting budget in the city of Chicago. And here's why that's a problem. This guy here is the emerald ash borer. He's a voracious stowaway from Asia, and he's laying waste to our urban forest. We're going to be losing 1 million trees in the wider Chicagoland within the next 5 years. Folks, that's 1 million trees, and it's coming. And why is that important? Because research has found that health, psychological and social benefits of trees, in fact, may outweigh the environmental benefits. And so one of the first studies that found this, they had patients looking out over a group of trees, and those patients recovered so much faster than those patients next door that looked out over a brick wall. And trees also boost socialization. And in terms of this study here from the US Forest Service, the researchers found that in neighborhoods hit hard by the emerald ash borer, there was a significant decrease in human mortality. So let's think about that for a moment. It's really simple when you think about it. The less trees you have in a city, the less well you'll be, because we have hard data that shows that humans have an effect on their environment and they have an effect on the trees. And so there's another piece to this too. In fact, they found that trees can actually filter out the city environment. There's too much stimulation, and trees provide a filter for that. Trees also boost socialization. Trees bring people together. It's because social ties are a predictor of our health and well-being. It's been found that the presence of trees is a predictor of death rates for many. But there's another piece to this too, and that is trees are income inequality in our cities laid bare. It's because it's a tight correlation. In short, wealthier cities can afford more trees on both public and private property. And it's intra-neighborhood too, which gives you pictures like this. So here's Hyde Park and Woodlawn, both neighborhoods on the south side of our city and less than 1.3 miles apart. So just as a reminder, there is no plan B. John McCain aside, no one seriously believes we can exist anywhere else except right here. So we have to make sure that our immediate environment is as healthy as it can possibly be. So what do we do? Well, it's like the Lorax said, it's really up to each of us. So who wants to help starting a New York-style kind of tree planting project? Please talk to your elected officials. We need to imagine and then demand the kinds of cities that are going to support our health and well-being. So at Add a Tree, we're trying something new. We're taking a leap like this guy at the Grand Canyon. As the story goes, he took the shot, leapt, and he was wearing flip-flops, which is kind of impressive. So we're doing something new. We're crowdfunding for the urban forest, and we're also working with companies to reduce their paper waste and use those savings to plant additional tree projects. So we want to make scale. We want to make large-scale impact one tree at a time. So trees are a matter of life and death, but not only for all of us, but for those people, our families, who will be living in Chicago in the future. So lastly, it's as Warren Buffett says, when he pointed out that someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. Add a Tree invites you to join us and be that someone. Thank you.